The European Union, once a symbol of unity and shared purpose, has long stood as a beacon of cooperation and integration on the continent. For decades, it represented the hope that Europe could move beyond its fractured past, forging a future built on common values, open borders, and economic prosperity. But now that vision faces a fracture from within. The cracks in the European project are no longer just theoretical. They are becoming visible, tangible, and increasingly difficult to ignore. Political disagreements, economic disparities, and cultural divides have all contributed to a growing sense of unease. On November 15, 2025, Hungary made history by becoming the first EU and NATO member to join the BRICS Plus bloc. The announcement sent shockwaves through Brussels and Washington, upending assumptions about the stability of Western alliances and raising urgent questions about the future of European unity. This is not a sudden or impulsive move. It is the culmination of a decade-long strategy by Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, who has steadily deepened Hungary's ties with Russia and China, even as he clashed with the West, over issues ranging from rule of law to migration. Orbán's vision has always been one of sovereignty and independence, and now, he is putting that vision to the ultimate test. Hungary's entry into BRICS Plus is a calculated gamble, betting its future on diversifying partnerships beyond the Western system. By aligning with emerging powers, Hungary hopes to secure new economic opportunities, energy deals, and political leverage, even if it means risking its standing within the EU and NATO. The implications are profound, challenging the cohesion of alliances that have defined Europe for decades. The very foundations of the post-Cold War order are now being questioned. As old certainties give way to new uncertainties, European leaders are left scrambling to respond, unsure of how to maintain unity in the face of such a dramatic shift. Western capitals responded with disbelief and condemnation. Statements from Washington, London, and Brussels expressed deep concern, warning of consequences and urging Hungary to reconsider. For NATO, the situation is unprecedented. For the first time, a member state is now formally aligned with a bloc, often seen as a rival. For Hungary, this is a declaration of strategic autonomy, a bold assertion of its right to chart its own course. For its allies, however, it is seen as an act of defiance, a breach of trust that could have far-reaching consequences for the entire alliance. The symbolism is striking. Hungary, a nation that once fought Soviet control and played a pivotal role in ending the Iron Curtain, now finds itself aligning with a bloc led by Moscow and Beijing. The echoes of history are impossible to ignore, and many wonder what this reversal means for the future of Europe. This move signals deep disillusionment with the Western liberal model, which Budapest increasingly sees as intrusive, rigid, and out of touch with its national interests. Protests and debates erupt across Hungary as citizens grapple with the implications of this new direction. As the dust settles, Europe must confront a new reality. The continent is no longer moving in one direction. Instead, it faces a future marked by diverging paths, shifting alliances, and growing uncertainty. The question now is whether Europe can adapt to this new era, or whether deeper divisions will emerge. A more unpredictable chapter in its history has just begun. The choices made in the coming months and years will shape not only the fate of Hungary, but the destiny of Europe itself. To truly grasp Hungary's recent pivot on the world stage, we must first look back at the country's complex journey through the last few decades. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a turning point for Hungary, ending decades of communist rule and opening the door to new possibilities. The country was eager to shed its past and embrace a future aligned with Western democracies. In pursuit of security and prosperity, Hungary joined NATO in 1999, signaling its commitment to collective defense. Just 5 years later, in 2004, Hungary became a member of the European Union, a move celebrated as a return to the European family. These historic steps promise not only protection from external threats, but also economic growth, modernization, and a sense of belonging in Europe. Hungary's economy quickly became intertwined with the EU, especially with powerhouse economies like Germany. Hungarian soldiers participated in NATO missions, forging new bonds with Western allies and reinforcing Hungary's place in the transatlantic community. For many years, the idea of Hungary seeking an alternative to this Western framework seemed almost unimaginable. Most Hungarians saw their future as firmly anchored in Europe, yet beneath the surface, not everyone was satisfied. The economic transition from communism to capitalism was often painful, with rising unemployment and social dislocation. At times, Brussels' directives clashed with Hungary's sense of national identity and sovereignty. Over time, a populist undercurrent began to grow, with some questioning whether full integration with the West truly served Hungary's unique interests and values. These frustrations and doubts gradually laid the groundwork for a new political narrative, one that challenged the established consensus and called for a rethinking of Hungary's alliances. This emerging narrative drew on memories of Hungary's 1989 revolution, blending them with modern concerns and aspirations, and began to question the direction the country had taken since the end of communism. Ultimately, these shifting attitudes set the stage for the dramatic realignment in Hungary's foreign policy that we witness today, as the nation explores new partnerships and redefines its place in a rapidly changing world. Viktor Orbán's 2010 return to power marked a turning point. Once pro-Western, Orbán now championed an illiberal state modeled on Russia, China, and Turkey. His Eastern opening policy aimed to diversify Hungary's dependencies in court investment from Moscow and Beijing. Deals like the Russian-financed Pax nuclear plant and Chinese Belt and Road projects deepened these ties. Hungary often blocked EU actions critical of Russia and China, even as it benefited from Western alliances. Orbán framed this as defending sovereignty, putting Hungary first. Hungary became a Trojan horse in the EU and NATO, playing both sides. Joining BRICS Plus is the formalization of a decade-long strategy. Hungary's decision to move closer to BRICS Plus is not just a political gesture, it's a move deeply rooted in economic logic and national strategy. As the world's financial landscape evolves, Hungary is seeking new opportunities to secure its future prosperity. The Hungarian government argues that the global economic center of gravity is shifting rapidly toward the east, especially Asia. In their view, Hungary must adapt to this transformation or risk being left behind as new economic powers rise. Today, BRICS Plus nations account for a remarkable 37% of global GDP, having recently surpassed the G7. This signals a major realignment in global economic power, with BRICS Plus countries gaining influence in trade, finance, and technology. For Hungary, access to these dynamic markets is becoming increasingly vital. With EU funds currently frozen and the domestic economy struggling with high inflation and a weakening currency, the government is searching for alternative sources of growth and stability. The new development bank established by BRICS offers Hungary the promise of financing for major projects, without the political conditions often attached to EU or Western loans. This could help fund infrastructure and innovation. Trade with BRICS countries, especially China, has surged in recent years. Hungary has become a key hub for Chinese investment in Central Europe, attracting new factories, technology, and jobs. The government believes it can maintain strong trade ties with the EU while simultaneously opening new frontiers with BRICS Plus partners, aiming to diversify its economic relationships and reduce dependence on any single bloc. However, critics warn that BRICS cannot fully replace the EU's deep economic integration, regulatory support, and financial aid. The EU remains Hungary's largest trading partner and investor. There are real risks. Alienating the West could trigger capital flight, reduce investor confidence, and lead to economic instability, potentially harming jobs and living standards. Ultimately, Hungary is betting it can carefully manage these risks and reap the rewards of a new global order. It's a high-stakes gamble, with the nation's economic future hanging in the balance. Hungary's BRICS Plus entry redraws Europe's geopolitical map. It creates a bridgehead for Russian and Chinese influence inside the EU and NATO. Hungary is now a swing state, straddling both Western and Eastern camps. For Russia and China, this is a diplomatic victory, undermining Western unity and offering new access to Europe. Central Europe is now divided. Poland and the Baltics remain staunchly Atlanticist, while Hungary aligns eastward. This creates strategic ambiguity and potential instability in a critical region. Hungary's move is a template for other disillusioned nations, signaling alternatives to exclusive Western alignment. Populist movements across Europe will watch closely. If Hungary benefits without major backlash, others may follow. This is a test case for the future of global alliances in a multipolar world. Hungary's BRICS Plus move leaves it isolated within the EU. No other member has taken such a step. Even those seeking strategic autonomy have stayed within the Western fold. The Visegrad Group is fractured. Poland, Czechia, and Slovakia condemn Russia and align with the West. While Hungary stands apart, other European nations have flirted with China but ultimately reaffirmed Western ties. Hungary alone has formalized alignment with a non-Western bloc. Orbán frames this as defending sovereignty against a globalist West, a message that resonates at home. But on the European stage, Hungary has few friends. It has traded integration for a more uncertain role as a bridge or barrier between East and West. No other EU nation has dared this path. Hungary's BRICS Plus membership is an institutional crisis for the EU. How can a member participate in EU foreign policy while joining a rival bloc? Hungary could veto EU decisions, paralyzing foreign policy and threatening the single market. Concerns grow about Chinese companies using Hungary as a backdoor into Europe. The rule of law dispute will worsen, with Brussels reluctant to release funds and Budapest crying foul. The EU faces a stark choice: tolerate internal sabotage or confront Hungary, risking a Huxit. Either path threatens the EU's unity and global influence. For NATO, Hungary's BRICS Plus move is a security nightmare. A member now aligns with NATO's main adversaries, raising questions about intelligence sharing and operational security. Sensitive information may be withheld, creating a two-tier alliance and undermining unity. Hungary's veto power could block NATO responses to Russia or China, paralyzing the alliance. The credibility of Article 5 is at stake. Can allies trust Hungary and vice versa? These doubts strike at the heart of NATO's purpose. Hungary's decision forces the alliance to question the loyalty of one of its own. Hungary's entry into BRICS Plus is a seismic event, ending Europe's post-Cold War consensus. For decades, the continent moved toward Western integration. That era is over. Hungary has shattered Western unity, betting it can balance East and West. The consequences are immediate: an EU institutional crisis and a NATO security dilemma. Hungary is now a strategic outlier, creating a new fault line in Central Europe. This move reflects a belief that global power is shifting irreversibly. Budapest hopes to keep Western benefits while gaining from the East. Critics warn this gamble risks isolation and economic vulnerability. The Danube, once a symbol of unity, now marks a divided continent. Is Hungary an isolated case, or the first crack in a wider fracturing of European solidarity?